This show furnished by Karl Gerber and Employment Lawyers Group.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. I'm Karl Gerber, and that's definitely still my problem. We're broadcasting live in downtown trendy Culver City tonight. You're going to listen to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show, heard every Sunday at this time. I'm hoping everyone had a great weekend. Hopefully you didn't suffer any serious culinary injuries, like perhaps punctured skin eating crab. Well, you know, I got this thing and this voice recording, and I want to play it. I've never played it. I don't think anyone's heard it before. This is going to be the first time the Los Angeles airwaves hear it. And it's from PJ BC the Third. He was on a couple episodes back, and you might remember he got laid off after some long-term employment, and he was going to be pursuing a career as a concert pianist, which I don't know how it was going to go because he didn't read music, but I'm going to play this, and hopefully it's a good clip. You're hearing it for the first time. It's awful. You know, some people should just stick with their day jobs. Maybe I don't even know why I just played that. It's so embarrassing. But the problem is I'm like waiting around for this guest here. He's not here, and I don't really have anything else for the show, so I played this. All right, I'm going to go to Plan B, and I'm going to just do a different show. Forget about this guest. I don't know what happened to him. So, yeah, job terminations due to pregnancy are tragic. When a woman goes out of their job to go to the hospital and have a baby, this is a time for them to be with their family. Employers should not ruin the experience by denying maternity leave or leaving the new mother jobless when she is ready to return to work. To find oneself jobless after not being able to work for months, that can lead a new mother and a father to having to move into their in-laws' home due to the mother's loss of a job.
Excuse me. Hey, excuse me. Were you saying something?
I said I've been to the zoo. Mister, I've been to the zoo. I see sea lions, arf, 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 and even a paper machete cretin that looked like you.
Am I interrupting something?
Yeah, I was going to talk about how terrible it is to fire a woman because she's pregnant or to fail to reinstate her, and how it's a time for her to be with her family, spend time with a new person she's brought into the world, how motherhood is a precious thing. You know, C-sections might require time to heal, how women are awesome because they can give birth.
Okay, sorry I'm late.
A rotund man, 6 feet and a few inches, is literally standing on top of me. The studio lights shine off his bald head. He's kind of guy who wears suit pants and a sports coat, probably size 52 in the jacket. The coat is sort of an oatmeal and grass color. I'm not sure if it started out that way or it got stained with grass and oatmeal maybe 40 years ago. Plasticky black shoes on this guy, maybe Walmart circa 1995. If this is his Sunday best, I'd hate to see him on Monday.
Hey, is there a problem here?
Yeah, it's a good thing KABC had a lot of news to report at the top of the hour.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm late.
I was ready to start a different show. I didn't think you'd show, but then again, your reputation precedes you. You've been sanctioned 535 times for being late to court since court records became more readily accessible online.
Hey, what am I going to say?
How about you're a loser?
No, that's not very nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you the one and only worst excuse for a defense lawyer I've heard of, luckily never had to oppose. I present to you Bigon Dumas. I cannot call this thing an esquire, a true disservice to the California State Bar.
That's it. I'm out of here. You just defamed me on live radio. I'm gonna sue you for slander of my reputation.
What reputation? If you actually read the law, you'd know the truth is defense to defamation, and so is opinion. I'm just dishing out my opinion to the 11 million plus listeners in Los Angeles who could be listening tonight.
Okay. I'm not gonna fight with you. 10 years ago, I was selling carpets in Queens. I go to law school at night, and now I'm a lawyer? Not a big fancy one with a radio show and branch office in the good part of Oxnard.
Were you selling Berber or just nylon carpet?
Very funny. I sell carpets to townhomes and skull carpets.
Stop acting tough. My trade is concrete, and I usually work alone.
Hey, me too. I work alone.
Yeah, I know your office doesn't have any paralegals, office assistants, and you don't have associate attorneys. In fact, I've heard on an earlier show you only have a one-room office.
Don't you know what skull carpets is? Skull carpets? For guys like me.
What kind of a carpet store would sell carpet for both townhomes and people's heads?
Hey, I don't make this stuff up. You do.
I was kind of wondering if you had a fake bar license. I couldn't find you on the California State Bar website.
You a fool. You think my real last name is Big On?
How exactly do you spell your name? I couldn't find you on the internet, no website, no listing on Justia, AVVO, Marndell Hubble, any of the places lawyers are on.
Okay, smart guy. My last name is D-O-M-B-A-S-S. The S is silent.
I thought the B was silent. Do you use your mother's last name?
No. My mother was a French, and no.
I want to start out by asking you if it's true that you declined the legal representation of Piaget BC III, and you told them the reason was because it would not look right having another client because you were billing Lisa Glickman 15 to 16 hours a day.
Listen, I can't disclose attorney-client stuff.
I created Lisa Glickman, and I'm entitled to all the information about her.
That broad Lisa Glickman, I can't be paid enough to represent her. A real drama queen.
The difficulty of a client might justify part of an hourly rate, but a competent lawyer could not possibly spend 15 to 16 hours a day defending the case against her for making Rosa Santos Rosenstein work 24/7 on controlled standby without paying her to be on call while she waits.
So maybe I'm not competent. Is that a crime?
Wait, if you're incompetent, why are you representing the client?
I am just saying what you're saying.
I said defending one defendant in a case or controlled standby, one plaintiff, that can't take 15 to 16 hours a day.
Who said I work on that broad case 15 to 16 hours a day? You know, there's other stuff I have to do.
Are we talking about the track?
It's not exactly top secret that I spend a lot of my time in Santa Anita.
Do you sleep?
A lot of bright ideas come to me in my sleep. This is the time that's worth at least 2 billable hours a day.
Are you admitting you bill 2+ hours a calendar day on the off chance that the brightest idea may come to you when you're asleep?
What am I supposed to do? Bill for all 8 hours? Come on, I'm giving my clients a break and just charging them for 2 hours.
Then you're admitting you spend 8 hours a day sleeping.
No, sometimes I also fall asleep at the track. The weather's been real hot this summer.
Can't you handle humidity?
Oh, we don't get any humidity in the Bronx. Maybe at the zoo with all those bodies of water for the elephants and the ducks.
I recall there was a zoo on 65th and 5th.
Oh, yeah. That's where the Brooklyn Zoo is.
Are you from Brooklyn?
Oh, yeah.
Strange. I thought 56 and 5th is in the city.
It is the city of Brooklyn.
Nah, New York, like around Central Park. Isn't there a zoo around there?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's where the Central Park Zoo is.
Hey, how do you know that?
I played the crazy man in the zoo story back in high school. I don't think you're from New York. Okay, Karl Gerber, Workplace Lawyer Show. Give me a call off air about a real workplace scenario. 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525-0700 for a confidential conversation with a real workplace lawyer that does concrete and can stand off the Dombass.
The Employment Lawyers Group is a results-driven law firm whose goal is to get the right result for the client. They have represented employees with a high rate of success since 1993 throughout the state of California. They're only paid and if they are able to collect money from the employer, so there's not any upfront fees or costs in order to hire them. They have represented thousands of employees who've been terminated from their jobs, sexually harassed, subjected to employment discrimination, or are owed wages in an individualized or group basis such as a class action. Call 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. They have operators standing by. They can also be reached at employeelawca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. Hire them and make your workplace problem theirs to solve.
My number 2 does not look like a number 2. I don't know what to call it. Is there a number 3?
Table for 4, please. Anything close to the restroom.
A middle seat with these stomach problems? That's my fear of flying.
Sound like you? If it does, you could be one of the many people with a digestive condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Even if you don't know what EPI is, you might know the symptoms: frequent diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain. If you have even just one of these symptoms, you could still have EPI, because not everybody experiences EPI the same way. Which is why it's so important to open up to your doctor about all your symptoms. And the good news is, EPI is manageable, so don't keep a lid on it. Go to identifyepi.com, complete the symptom checker, and use it to have a conversation with your doctor. Don't keep a lid on it. Visit identifyepi.com. Brought to you by AbbVie.
My number 2 does not look like a number 2. I don't know what to call it. Is there a number 3?
Table for 4, please. Anything close to the restroom.
A middle seat with these stomach problems? That's my fear of flying.
Sound like you? If it does, you could be one of the many people with a digestive condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Even if you don't know what EPI is, you might know the symptoms: frequent diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain. If you have even just one of these symptoms, you could still have EPI, because not everybody experiences EPI the same way, which is why it's so important to open up to your doctor about all your symptoms. And the good news is, EPI is manageable, so don't keep a lid on it. Go to identifyepi.com, complete the symptom checker, and use it to have a conversation with your doctor. Don't keep a lid on it. Visit identifyepi.com. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to Karl Gerber, Workplace Lawyer Show. I am a real licensed California attorney that represents employees. I don't think Dombass is. He's a fictional character, and he was bilking Lisa Glick 15 to 16 hours a day for defending her. We heard about these on the old episodes of this show, and so I called him in the studio, and of course he was late to find out what's really going on, how you could charge someone 15 to 16 hours a day. And we got to this part where I'm not sure this guy is really from Brooklyn, because I asked about a zoo in Central Park, and he seemed to think that was the zoo in the Bronx. So I don't know. All right, Dombass, let's get back to our conversation.
All right. I told you that I sold carpets in Queens.
I tend to recall some of my grandparents were from Queens, but that's not Brooklyn. Close, but no cigar.
I'm taking the Fifth.
Is that a bus line along Fifth Avenue?
No, that's the jewelry district.
I'm feeling more like the jewelry district is on 6th Street in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm in trouble here.
Yeah, a member has an obligation to report another member's violation of state bar rules.
Clients don't come to me because I'm from Brooklyn.
I was rather referring to you billing Lisa Glickman 15 to 16 hours a day when you admit you sleep 8 hours a day, sometimes more at the track. Do you eat?
Look at me. What do you think?
Maybe eating doesn't subtract much from this guy's day. You look like the kind of guy who eats sausages walking the streets, probably a salami sandwich out of a bag at the track.
Oh, yeah. You've got me figured out, right? I don't take time out of my busy schedule for sit-down meals, but I do have a pleasure every once in a while.
Yeah, I've got a lot of hobbies myself. Los Angeles history, exercise, back-breaking near-death construction experiences. Well, writing the show every week, too.
Oh, well, yeah, I've got hobbies, too. That's the good thing about my office.
From what I've heard, there's nothing good about your office. Isn't it like one room in the back of a Nuru massage clinic?
Oh, yeah.
What's good about that setup?
It's in the back of something.
Oh, Jesus.
What you said.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on.
Now I know why you're so greasy looking. Actually, I think you'd still be greasy without all that odorless, tasteless oils that ooze into your office.
Hey, the oil doesn't always just ooze in. I's invited.
I'd rather not picture that scene.
I want you to know, a very important Nuru nurse founded the clinic that subleases me my space.
Maybe a celebrity Nuru nurse?
Rhemus Helms fathered her child.
Yes, Rhemus Helms, the most important man in Sun Valley, California. Wait, the Nuru News wouldn't happen to be Hinita Orchid Helms' mother, would she?
Yes, that's the very office I rent that it used to be Natsuki's personal office. Would you imagine that? Dombass sitting in the same chair Natsuki used for VIP body rubs. Maybe the same chair where Hinita was conceived.
Yuck! All the more reason why I don't find you to be a reputable lawyer.
I have to churn the cases to make rent. $1,500 a month doesn't come easy to me.
Is that the fair market value of a tiny windowless office in the back of a Reseda Nuru massage clinic?
Hey, there's benefits.
Make me happy, and don't tell me about those benefits. How much are you charging Lisa Glickman per hour?
Oh, I'm giving her a real good deal.
How good?
I figured since I'm not exactly a Harvard man, I should give her a little discount, like $5.75 an hour.
Do you defend a single plaintiff employment case for that much?
Yeah, the guys in Century City and downtown are like $7.50 an hour.
First of all, Dumas, you're not in Century City or downtown. Second of all, you're probably charging her to copy papers because you don't have an assistant. Third of all, did you even go to a real law school?
Just because I didn't go to Yale like that lord-ass president we used to have doesn't mean I didn't go to a real law school.
You are a fictional character. I suppose in the fictional world of radio shows, maybe you attend the law school. Being that I couldn't find you on the State Bar website, where exactly did you attend night law school?
Oh, I'm not gonna tell you.
Because I bet you never really went to law school anyways. A lawyer's hourly rate should be based upon their efficiency. When I win an employment case and make a motion for attorney fees, one of the reasons why I justify a high hourly rate is a lot of things that would take someone 15 hours to do take me 2. Because I've been doing this a long time, things are a lot easier for me. I also have already briefed most of the legal issues that come up, so I'm not recreating the wheel every time I work on a case.
Oh. Well, I do all kinds of cases.
You mean wage and hour, discrimination, harassment, and termination cases? I thought you only did one case at a time.
I like to do only one case at once because it's hard to build 2 clients 15 to 16-hour days. I'm not a total retard. You know, yeah, I get there's only 24 hours in a day, but this is my first employment case. Those 2 lawsuits against Lisa Glickman and the Perfection Team, I'm learning on the job.
Since you don't have any experience in employment defense, wouldn't it have been better to come up with a rate like $300 an hour?
No, it's KABC free market economy. Ms. Glickman could have gotten another lawyer.
Do you know what a fiduciary duty is?
I've heard of that thing.
Not sure how you could have passed a professional responsibility test on ethics if you weren't too clear on what a fiduciary duty is.
Wait, the professional responsibility test is separate from the bar?
That was the case in 1993 when I took those tests.
That's interesting.
What is more interesting than you don't seem to know any ethics is a lawyer has a fiduciary duty to a client, and that means the lawyer has more duties to the client than normal and has to put the client's interest first. Caveat emptor does not apply to a contract for legal services. A lawyer can't charge unconscionable fees.
How do you know all this?
I'm a little confused here why you don't know any of this. I had a case a few years back for unconscionable legal fees. A lawyer charged a disabled man the successive amount to represent him, and I think that lawyer, he also wanted a percent, and I won about $250,000 for that client in arbitration. I've also qualified in federal court as an expert on the value of legal services.
I don't do contingencies like you. It's not always easy to find clients willing to pay me my fee, but
Doesn't surprise me.
I think it's better. Hey, I think it's better if I can get $575 or $800 an hour. That way there's no downside for me.
But what kind of legal services could possibly be worth $800 an hour?
Like I said, I don't just do employment. I do divorces.
You're still listening to Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I'm a real lawyer. I don't think Dombass is. I think he's a fictional character. But Dombass, are you a certified family law specialist?
Like I said, I do divorces, but no.
Are these particularly high-profile, difficult divorces with all sorts of experts?
I like to inflate my hourly rate because I know a lot of my bills won't be paid.
What you're saying is totally illegal. A lawyer can't inflate their bills to ensure they're going to be paid for all the hours they work.
Is that the case?
Oh, brother. Not Georg.
Nadzuki went back to Japan.
Okay.
I get all of her mail.
That doesn't impress me. I've heard you have stacks of unopened mail on your desk. Is all that mail, hers?
No, the unopened mail is on cases. I opened Nadzuki's mail. That's how I find out she was Hinita's mother. I always open her mail because it's fun. Sometimes there's pictures of Nuru nurses who think Nadzuki still owns the clinic, and they want Nadzuki to give them a job or sponsor their work visa.
Hinita died of boredom at work. What kind of a mother wouldn't be there for her own daughter's funeral?
I guess Hinita's got a good dad. That guy, Rhemus Helms.
Has Rhemus Helms ever asked you for representation?
Nope.
Don't think so. He only seeks the best.
Hey, do you know anything about immigration law?
Almost nothing. I'm an employment lawyer.
Well, that's too bad. I thought I'd ask your opinion on something. I just took an immigration case for one of those Nuru nurses who wanted to work for Nadzuki.
You get your clients opening ex-tenants' mail?
Not all my clients.
I'd imagine there's a lot of immigration work just about now. Maybe you could actually learn something and help people?
Nah. Do you think that I should let Lisa Glickman settle her case with Rosa?
From the moment I heard about the case, it seemed like a win for Rosa. How much is Lisa into you now for legal fees?
Well, I haven't added it all up, but, well, I would say over $500,000 by now on that case.
I recall telling Lisa Glickman the case was worth around $500,000. Is there a reason why you have delayed settlement?
I'm gonna take the fifth on that one, too.
All right, guys, you're listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I'm a real lawyer that is here to talk to you about employee work problems and lawsuits at 877-525-0700. Off air, again, 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525-0700. When we come back, we're going to find out more about Dombass ripping off Lisa Glickman.
Not too bad, just a little pair. New Mercedes hit me from the rear. Man got out in a three-piece suit and asked him $1,000.
Talk Radio 790, KABC News Update. I'm Steve Cumming. The New York Times reports the investigation against Michael Cohen is starting to wrap up, and the charges could come by the end of the month. Correspondent Christina Alessi says,
since at least April, we've known that prosecutors were interested in Cohen's taxi medallion business. We also knew that prosecutors were looking at Cohen's lenders. The New York Times, in tonight's story, names two of them, Sterling National Bank and Melrose Credit Union. They happen to be lenders who work with taxi medallion businesses.
And families from North and South Korea who were separated during the Korean War are getting a chance to reconnect during a reunion agreed to in the accord signed by the leaders of the two countries. Correspondent Paula Hancock.
It's only for 3 days, and then after 3 days, Wednesday, they get on the buses, they come back across the border to South Korea, knowing that that is more than likely the last time that they'll see their loved ones.
KABC SoCal weather mostly clear tonight with lows in the mid-60s to around 70. More news coming up and continuous coverage on KABC.com. I'm Steve Cumming, Talk Radio 790, KABC News.
Since 1993, the Employment Lawyers Group has been a results-oriented law firm whose goal is to get the client what they deserve. They've represented thousands of California employees who've lost their jobs, been sexually harassed, subjected to employment discrimination, or were owed wages on an individualized or group basis, such as a class action. They have a high rate of success. There are few situations involving employment law that they have not confronted. At the forefront of employee rights, they're often the first employee law firm to confront a new legal issue. For an experienced employment lawyer, call 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. They have call takers standing by. Online, read more about the firm at employeelawca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. Make your work problem theirs to solve.
This is Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Hey, it's Brad Dalius, host of Behind the Mic, and we're wrapping up your day with your favorite LA sports teams, the latest buzz in national sports, and more. Weeknights at 11 on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
I'm so impressed with the Online Trading Academy that I've signed up for my own class. The Online Trading Academy is a leader in investing education designed to generate monthly income and grow your retirement nest egg. Give them a call at 888-991-8723 to attend and get 2 free passes to their next half-day class. And if you call right now, they'll send you home with a free Kindle Fire 7 tablet computer with access to their do-it-yourself investors kit just for attending. Visit them online at freetabletota.com. Give them a call at 888-991-TRADE. Tablet offers while supplies last, must be 18 years of age or older, and 1 tablet per household.
The following is based on a true story.
Richard, this can't be happening. Friends are coming over this evening and the sink is clogged.
Okay, let me try the hose down the trap trick.
Still backing up.
Maybe if I plunge the sink.
No bueno.
Great. Now what?
Look, a Mike Diamond truck. Go flag him down.
Wait! Smell good, plumber! I need help!
Unfortunately, I'm on another job. Call 1-800-446-MIKE. They'll get someone out quick.
Wow, that was quick.
That was a severe clog, Richard, but you're unclogged now.
You unclogged our drain and saved our party for $99. You're great. You smell great. I love you guys.
You'll find more stories like this one at MikeDiamond.com. Contractor license number 399170.
I'm Mike Diamond. I guarantee my plumbers will show up on time and unclog your drain for $99.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. I'm Karl Gerber, a real employee lawyer licensed in California, Texas, Massachusetts, and Washington, D.C. This particular episode involving Dombass took me not very long to write. Usually these take longer, but I have met so many guys over my career like Dombass that I had the material for this, and it wasn't a big deal. So many of these guys that give their clients a real bad deal on the other side and tell them they're going to go do the case for a small amount of money, and they don't know what they're doing, and the whole thing is based upon them being gruff and mean and all that. And that's where Dombass comes from. You've heard about him in some of the other episodes. You've heard about the people we're talking about. You may have to catch up and go to workplacelawyer.org or somewhere on the internet. These are all over the place. So let's get back to the show. And this is for employers, too. We don't just do shows for employees, even though I represent employees. I want to equally give some information, which I think may be of particular interest to employers, so they don't get caught up with a Dombass. All right, Dombass, I got to ask you about this Rosa Santos Rosenstein case. Are you ever going to let it go?
No, I stick with a case through trial.
Do you always advise your defense clients to try a case you're going to lose?
Pretty much always.
Did you give Lisa a quote on how much it would take to get her case tried?
Oh, yeah, 20.
$20,000?
Is that too much?
Too little.
Well, I thought you were trying to insinuate I ripped my clients off.
Unrealistically low quotes to get them to keep the case going, that's as bad as a 15 to 16-hour day at $575 an hour.
I like to protect myself.
Of course. Why protect your clients? You've only heard of the fiduciary duty now.
I hear in Los Angeles Superior Court, you have to bring your own court reporter. Is this new?
No, it's been like that since the recession.
How much do you think a court reporter will be?
How long is this trial going to be on the Rosa Santos Rosenstein case?
I told Lisa a couple of days.
How many witnesses are there?
The other side has 11.
How about your side?
I'm going to put a whole bunch of people on the witness list to shake up the other side. I'm not going to call any of them.
It sounds like a lot of the witnesses for trial, you don't even know who they are. What about documents?
Well, the other side, they gave me this CD-ROM, but I haven't looked at it yet.
You might want to actually read what the other side claims they'll use in trial.
That sounds right. I haven't had the time.
Can't find time to read the other side's evidence in those 15 to 16-hour days working on the case?
I probably could, but it would be boring to read all that stuff. You don't want me to die of boredom, do you?
I'm not sure how you could give a client a realistic estimate of how long a trial would be if you haven't even looked at the other side's evidence and you haven't really thought about how many witnesses you really have because you're just listing everyone in the world in an attempt to shake up the other side. You also have not considered the cost of a court reporter, which could easily be $1,000 a day that you may be splitting with the other side if it's that cheap.
No, I'm not going to use the same court reporter as the other side. I don't want to appear cooperative.
Unless you're trying to annoy the judge and have the jury tripping over the extra court reporter where there isn't room for one, and leave the jury to speculate about why there are two court reporters. Maybe they're there to see how one of them can type faster. Seems like a real bad strategy, not to mention the extra cost to your client.
Hey, I never thought about that.
What did you never think about?
Whether the jury would be distracted thinking there's two court reporters there because they are in a competition to see how one can type faster than the other court reporter. And you see, which court reporter wins? I'm going to get the fastest court reporter in the county. How much do you think that would cost me?
This is a bad strategy. Budget at least $1,500 a day.
The other side said the case will last at least 2 weeks.
Even if you aren't demanding a jury and the other side is having to pay the entire cost of a jury, you're looking at more than $10,000 in court reporting costs with subpoenas, parking, copies of trial exhibits, maybe blow-ups and poster board exhibits. Are you really saying you're only going to charge maybe $8,000 in fees to cover the trial for 10 days and probably work some real 10 to 12-hour days, if not 15-hour days during trial, given motions at night, rereading evidence, reformulating questions, writing a closing argument?
Oh, I give a special rate for that trial.
Not your normal $5.75 an hour?
Yeah, I charge a flat $8,000 a day in fees.
How is that a bargain?
I figure I'm giving the client an hour or two free every day.
I get, if I do these calculations, 13.913 hours at $5.75 an hour, $8,000 a day. You wouldn't really expect to work 15 to 16 hours a day, would you?
I'm not the kind of guy who prepares like you do, but I want to reiterate the point I made earlier that I do a good 2 hours of thinking when I'm sleeping.
If the trial is 10 days, wouldn't that be $80,000 in fees just for the 10 days in trial?
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. I had planned to charge more like $600,000 to try the case.
Whoa. And you told the client the trial would cost $20,000? That's an intentional misrepresentation intended to be relied upon by the client to her detriment.
I guess it is. So what?
You're defrauding a client. That's the so what of it. As a lawyer, you think that's okay? I can't even believe I'm hearing this.
And your point?
I have another question.
Okay, I'm here to be completely cooperative.
What have you done with the small fortune Lisa Glickman has paid you and apparently the money she's got from the GoFundMe page she did to raise some more money for her defense?
Well, you knows that I like to go to the track.
Oh, brother, I thought you were maybe going to follow through and buy a house.
I can't do business with a client.
Finally, there's one thing the so-called lawyer knows. Well, you can maybe, but there has to be disclosures and advice to seek a third party's advice on the transaction. Generally a bad idea for a lawyer to do business with a client.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't have the credit to buy me a residence.
Did you know that before you wasted Lisa Glickman's time?
I wanted to meet her. She smells like flowers, and actually a certain candle I heard costs $625.
I do believe we heard about those candles 2 episodes back.
Yeah, well, that Lisa Glickman's got a lot of class. That's probably why I never invited her to my office.
Did you know she was raised in the Karl's apartments?
The condemned apartments for low-life seeds? I can't believe that. I should be living there.
Oh, yeah. Back to the 10-day trial estimate. Are those all jury days, or is there an estimate of how long the business and profession 17200 issues and the PAGA issues will take to have to be decided by the judge?
The 1700, all this, I don't know what you mean.
For $575 an hour, you should know. Some of these legal theories that were in the defense case you're representing Glickman on, they're used in wage and hour cases. Some of those theories, they only can be decided by a judge.
Well, you know, I never really considered that.
Or you never really knew that.
I mean, I guess both.
Are you saying all of these things I've ever heard from incompetent solo practitioners to defend an employer? Or are you saying all these? I'm hearing them all.
I mean, I've got an issue. I understand KABC the third complained about my office on his show.
All right. I think we're going to have to talk about that in a minute because PJBC III was featured on the show. He was the man working for the virtual warehouse that didn't really exist at all, and he was being laid off. That warehouse was a Nouveau Vague novelty toys, which we heard about on quite a few episodes of this show. You have been listening to the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber. I'm really a licensed attorney in California. I represent employees. I'd like to talk to you about a wrongful termination, sexual harassment, wage and hour case. off air at 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. Tonight we're having a conversation with Bigon Dombass, who we heard about in earlier shows. He's some kind of a lawyer who operates an office in the back of a Nuru massage clinic we now realize was founded by Hinita Orchid Helms' mother, and he might be sitting in the same chair where she was conceived with Rhemus Helms, who I assume was a VIP client there. Very seedy, very sleazy, but he's charging $575 an hour. He had taken this employer to the cleaners. We're going to find out more about his unlawful practices when we come back.
Well, once I had an accident, not too bad, just a little dent. New Mercedes hit me from the rear. Man got out in a three-piece suit and asked if $1,000 would do, and I said, well, let me think for a minute here. Gotta talk from a lawyer.
The Employment Lawyers Group is a results-driven law firm whose goal is to get the right result for the client. They have represented employees with a high rate of success since 1993 throughout the state of California. They're only paid and if they are able to collect money from the employer, so there's not any upfront fees or costs in order to hire them. They have represented thousands of employees who've been terminated from their jobs, sexually harassed, subjected to employment discrimination, or are owed wages in an individualized or group basis such as a class action. Call 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. They have operators standing by. They can also be reached at employeelawca.com. They have offices throughout Southern California. Hire them and make your workplace problem theirs to solve.
Hey, John Phillips here. Over the last couple of months, I've been telling you about the Online Trading Academy and how they can help you make extra monthly income and sock money away for retirement. Well, coming up on Saturday, August 25th, I'll be taking one of their classes in Woodland Hills from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and I'd love for you to join me. All you have to do is give them a call at 888-991-8723. That's 888-991-8723. Everyone who attends gets a free Kindle Fire tablet with videos and course materials as a gift for attending. You can learn all about the Online Trading Academy's complete course offering and being a great part of this investing community. Investors like you have learned how to trade just like the pros through the Online Trading Academy. In fact, fees are eating up a third of your retirement savings, and they'll teach you how to avoid a lot of those pitfalls. Again, it's Saturday, August 25th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call and register now. 888-991-8723. 888-991-8723. The Online Trading Academy.
At Fidelity, we believe nothing should come between you and your money. So we're introducing zero account fees with zero minimums to open an account. All because we want you to invest with zero trade-offs. Visit fidelity.com/value to learn more. Zero account minimums and zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Expenses charged by investments such as funds and managed accounts and for commissions, interest charges, or other expenses for transactions may still apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
Results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. If you owe the IRS back taxes, payroll taxes, or have not filed your returns, the IRS will get you. They can take your property, take you to court, even put you in jail. With one call to Wall, you'll never need to talk to the IRS again. Our average client settles for about 10% of what is owed. We offer free face-to-face consultations in your local area. Call 800-727-0433. That's 800-727-0433.
Talk Radio 790 KABC. You're listening to Karl Gerber, Workplace Lawyer Show. I'm Karl Gerber, and that's definitely my problem. And we've got to get back to this conversation with Bigon Dombass, who is not a very good lawyer. He's been ripping off clients right and left. And I think there's going to even be a face-off between me and him later in this episode. Yeah, so Dombass, I don't get this. What's this I understand mean? You can just listen to old episodes of the show on workplacelawyer.org and verify what you said. You can also find them easily on YouTube. Did you know that this show this week is showing up under searches on YouTube if you type in Lawyer Comedy Radio? It shows up along with some of the greatest comics from the last 80 years. Burns, Marks, Mulaney, Chappelle, you name it.
Well, you know, the meeting with PAJBC III went very badly. I think he might, get me in little bits of trouble.
Yes, he wanted to report you to the state bar and get you disbarred.
He just can't take rejection. I told him I couldn't do his case because I was billing Lisa Glickman 15 to 16-hour days, and it wouldn't look right to have two clients.
Aren't you also handling the case against Lisa by Ryan Sabertooth for not being paid commissions on As Seen on Color TV?
Yeah, I told her I don't like them Fruit Loops.
I used to eat Fruit Loops until I was about 46. I reformulated my diet.
No, I don't represent poofs.
This is great. You're discriminating against clients based on sexual orientation? You aren't supposed to do that.
I didn't know that, but I don't have a problem with homosexuals. For instance, I did a gay divorce right before I got involved in the Sanchez case.
Yeah, how did you make out on the gay divorce?
The divorce I was going through when I met Lisa wasn't a gay divorce.
I'm talking about the gay divorce you just talked about representing a client. I'm sure you disserviced whoever you represented.
Both sides. I took a 60% fee.
You really need to be disbarred. I'm not even sure you can take a contingency fee in a divorce, and 60% is way high. I'm also a little perplexed on how you could represent both sides.
Well, the guys, they was very cooperative, and there were a lot of assets, $2.4 million to be exact, and they were all liquid.
I'm not sure what the point of hiring you was if you took 60% of their assets and did very little because the couple was very cooperative.
Ditto. But I've got the debts of my own to pay.
You have serious moral debts to pay back to society.
I feel like people might be getting the wrong opinion listening to this particular show.
I sort of doubt it.
Well, Carl, let's play a game and see who knows more law.
Gladly.
What's child support?
Child support is based upon who has more custody. The spouse with less custody might pay more. Also based upon income tables as to the number of kids and income. My turn. What's wrongful termination?
Well, I've got this one. A job termination that is really, really wrongful. Plain bad.
No, the job termination has to violate public policy, which is a statute. It might be wrong in a societal sense because it violates a law in the statute books.
What is a lost wage?
A wage one would have earned were it not for the tort. My turn. In order to prove sexual harassment, do there have to be witnesses?
Yeah, I think so.
Wrong answer.
What is a pleading?
A paper filed in court that pleads for relief. Usually a motion. Demurs are not pleadings, but they're in pleading paper. Summary judgment motions are pleadings. Motions to compel. Answers to complaints.
Okay, my turn.
Fine. You can go again. You haven't got anything right so far.
Then I'll pass.
If you pass this round, you forfeit.
No, I want to keep going. Come on, let's rock and roll.
Idiots always say that when they want to get into a fight.
Okay. Well, you name 5 employment torts.
Objection. Compound. Notwithstanding said objections, battery, assault, sexual battery, wrongful termination, and sexual harassment.
Oh, and what's compound?
More than one question in one? How could you do civil litigation and not know that?
Well, I ain't very civil.
I'd like you to refund most of what you were paid to the gay couple and the same for Lisa Glickman. How about that?
Well, it's all spent. Adios, goodbye, sorry.
Get a loan. I don't care if a real wise guys loan you the money.
Well, I was thinking that maybe you have connections. All this talk about concrete and the mafia front you worked for in high school.
The state bar requires lawyers to pay restitution to clients. I've got you to admit on live air that you ripped off Lisa Glickman and a gay couple, If we had more time, I'm sure we'd uncover more of these clients you overcharged, underserved, and falsely led them to believe you were giving them valid advice when the advice was actually aimed at enriching you.
Mr. Gerber, whatever. I'm not a rich man. There's a freeway running through my backyard in Reseda. 15 to 16-hour work days are some long days, and I am even working in my sleep.
Dombass, you're incorrigible. Go to fictional character reform school. All right, so Dombass is not really a real attorney. He's not licensed by any bar that I know of, but maybe the one on the corner where he drinks. I don't know. And he's a lot like a lot of defense lawyers who I've come across trying to defend companies, usually smaller companies. They tell clients they're going to get them out of the case real cheap, give them unrealistic quotes on really how much it's going to cost. They're all based on bravado and things like that. They don't know the law. They don't have any idea how really to oppose the case. Some of them, I give them credit for the fact they show up for trial. That's a problem, though, because I have to say they shouldn't show up for trial and they shouldn't do it because they lose. And I've won a lot of cases. I've only lost one binding arbitration and one jury trial my whole career, and that's almost 25 years, so it's a pretty good record. But a lot of those trials have been against guys like Dombass who really shouldn't be defending the case. They're doing their client a disservice. They're not going to get any result, and they're, I don't know, probably going to charge more than they ever told their client they would. I've got one right now where they're telling their client they're going to get through a pregnancy discrimination case for $20,000 to try, and I'm thinking, there's no way. These days you have to pay the court reporters in Los Angeles Superior Court. That's not provided anymore for free. We're doing a trial right now, a sexual harassment case in San Bernardino. There they've got a court reporter standing by. Very, very good deal. It's $600 a day. You cannot get a court reporter like that for a trial. And if you got a jury trial, you got to pay the jury. And if you are on the other side and you don't want a jury, then you don't have to pay it. But all this adds up. There's a lot of costs in doing a trial besides just the legal fees that the lawyer charges. So if there are employers out there and you're getting these bids of, well, I'll do a retainer for a couple $1,000 and I'll get this wrongful termination trial or some wage and hour trial. We have in this example the Rosa Santos Rosenstein trial. I'll do that trial for, $10,000, $20,000. It's going to take a couple days. These don't take a couple days. They never do. And part of it is because of the lawyers like Dombass that just sit there and waste all this time. They make a lot of objections. They fight about things. They try bringing motions in trial. They lose. They lose. They underestimate the amount of time, and it takes longer with guys like them to get through the trial. And we're doing a trial right now. It's a judge trial, and it's gone 4 days, and that's with a judge. And judge trials are usually a lot shorter than jury trials, although sometimes you run into phenomena where the judge is busy and he tells you can come in from these hours to these hours and come back next week for these hours to these hours, and it becomes very fragmented. But whether it's a judge trial, a jury trial, or a binding arbitration, these things take enormous amounts of preparation if it's an employment case. And besides just getting your outlines right for all your witnesses and knowing about the documents and making your exhibit notebooks, there are jury instructions if it's a jury trial. Those take days to do. The special verdicts forms take days. If you got a trial, you might have a week or two before a trial where that's all you're doing. So be careful if you're getting lowball quotes on defense. You're not going to get out of a case that cheaply. Now, this show has actually progressed in a comedic sense. I'm sorry if this episode wasn't as funny as our last one or the one before, but people are really starting to search this for comedy. It's showing up all over the web. There are at least 12 different places, iTunes, there's YouTube, there's everywhere. You can listen to these shows on KABC. And you should, because this is sort of like a continuing dialogue. But if you want to call me about a real legal case for a job termination, sexual harassment, or unpaid wages, do it off air at 877-525-0700. Once again, 877-525-0700. That's 877-525-0700. I really am Karl Gerber. This is the Karl Gerber Workplace Lawyer Show. It can be heard Sunday nights from 7 to 8 on Talk Radio 790 KABC every week, and I hope to have you tune in next week. Until then, have a great week at work.
Well, once I had an accident, not too bad, just a little dent. New Mercedes hit me from the rear. Man got out in a three-piece suit and asked if $1,000 would do, and I said, well, let me think for a minute here. Gotta talk to my lawyer. I might have whiplash, might have trauma. Let's not talk petty cash. I got a witness, put a hand on the Bible.
This show furnished by Karl Gerber and Employment Lawyers Group.